Hello, my name is Bonnie Cavanaugh. This is really the introduction video for the rest of this trip. I am going to attempt to sail from Hampton, Virginia, which is where my boat is presently, to Seattle, Washington. Most people would say, "Oh, you're going through the Panama Canal, right?" No, I'm not. I'm going to be going the long way around via Grenada, maybe the Dominican Republic, and then down the coast of Brazil, around South Africa and Cape Town, and then over to Thailand, to Hawaii, and then back up to Seattle. And I might take a stop in San Diego or San Francisco and kind of go up the coast. But I bought my boat almost a year and a half ago. I bought it after a severe car accident. I took all my money because I'm a disabled veteran, and I bought my sailboat. And I have dumped every penny of my settlement into my boat. It's a 47-foot Vagabond Ketch. I love my boat. I won't ever live on land again now that I've experienced living on the water. While here in Hampton, Virginia, we've done lots of updates to the boat. When I purchased the boat, there was no galley, no cabinets, no nothing, no stove. So I was in the Air Force for 6.5 years, learned how to do some carpenter work. So I built the cabinets, installed a nice Force 10 stove and oven, and learned a lot about boats, and, well, actually big boats. This is the biggest boat I've ever owned. I've had small power boats up to a 19-foot V-hull, but never owned a boat quite this big. When I was a youngster growing up, my dad had a 32-foot cabin cruiser, well, we called it, and we grew up in the Seattle area, and so we would go all over Puget Sound. The name of the boat was the Double Trouble. That's because our family and our neighbor's family, we owned it together. And so one weekend we would get the boat, the next weekend they would get the boat. But if they weren't using, had no plans to use the boat, we could use the boat. So it went kind of like that. Now here I am. I turned 60 this year in July. So, and the thing people call me crazy for is I've never sailed anywhere in my life. I've never owned a sailboat, just motorboats. So some people say I'm crazy not to take sailing lessons and everything else. But I'm kind of looking at this as Moana did, you know. I feel a calling to the sea. My astrological sign is Cancer. So I've always been attracted to the water. And as a kid growing up in Puget Sound, I did snorkeling and stuff in the water. Of course, back then, you didn't need a wetsuit because as a kid, you don't feel the cold like adults do. But now that I'm here in Hampton, Virginia, and I've been here about 18 months, I'm not a big fan of the East Coast. I miss my home in Seattle. So I'll be sailing around the world back to my home, where my son and his grandkids live, and my mom and dad still live there, and my brother and my sister. I have my adopted sister here with me. She's originally from Minnesota and grew up sailing on the Great Lakes, so she knows a little bit about sailing. But neither one of us has sailed on a Ketch sailboat, so we have something to learn. But again, like Moana, it's not rocket science. Granted, there's a learning curve, and I've experienced the learning curve. The most frightening thing that has happened to me so far is riding out Hurricane Dorian about 2 miles off the shore of Langley Air Force Base here in Hampton. That was scary. Our anchor drug. We drifted about 1,400 yards until we got the second anchor deployed, and then waited for the storm to pass, and then we broke out the dinghy and towed us back to where we were anchored and reset anchor, and everything was fine. So that's kind of what's been going on, and along the way we've been doing little repairs and fix-its and doing this and that. My adopted sister here, her name is Kimmy. You probably won't see Kimmy a lot in these videos. She's kind of camera shy. So it's just going to be pretty much me and my puppy dog. Yes, I'm bringing my dog with me, something like Saline Doodles. Only my dog is a Rottweiler. His name is Booger, and Booger is my service animal. I have an artificial knee, courtesy of the VA hospital in Seattle, and he helps me when my knee gives out. He stands there and allows me to stand back up and get my balance and continue on my way. So it's kind of one of those things. You learn to live with it. So that's pretty much my story. I grew up in Kent, Washington. Went to Kent Meridian High School. Go Royals! And I love my Seahawks. Yes, indeed. And they're in the playoffs playing Green Bay Packers next weekend. And I'll be sitting on my phone watching the Packers-Seahawks game and rooting for my Seahawks. So please subscribe and like my video. The first video was kind of, well, crappy, okay? I'm honest. That's one thing you will learn about me. I don't BS people. I tell the truth. Because when you lie to somebody, it wastes your time and theirs. And eventually you're going to have to tell another lie to cover up for that lie, and another lie to cover up for that lie. So I just don't lie. I'd rather tell somebody the truth, possibly hurt their feelings, and know that I was honest, than to have lied to them, or, as I like to call it, sugarcoat things. It's just not my style. So I'm old. I'm 60 years old. Again, never really been sailing. I have a friend in the marina that we used to be in who has taken me out on his Tartan 27. And I've got to play around a little bit. But I'm going to be learning under fire on this whole trick. We'll be leaving shortly in the next few days. Headed down the coast of Washington. That's on the west coast. I'll be headed down the coast of Virginia, South Carolina, North Carolina, Georgia, Florida. Probably stop in the Keys. I've always wanted to go to the Keys. And then down to the Dominican Republic, where some other fellow sailors, bums on a boat, they're also from Washington State. They're there, and I hope to run into them. And then I'm going to Grenada, where I will build a hard Dodger on my boat. And from there, I start my journey around the world back to Seattle. So that's pretty much my story, and a little insight to what's going on. My sister also has a dog on the boat. Her name is Zena. It's actually Booger's baby. And she's actually about to have puppies. Oh boy. So, anyway, I hope you should like and subscribe to my channel for more updates. The next video, I'll probably give a tour of my boat. It is a little messy because we're still building things and fixing things. So, we have an 85 horse Perkins inside this boat, which now runs like a champ. And we're looking forward to getting out of Hampton. I'm tired of these F-22s, which they say you can't see on radar. Isn't it funny? I can see them on my radar on my boat. Haven't figured that out yet, but it's true. So anyway, y'all have a great afternoon. See you next time. Bye!